how you can do parallel development using a Git repository terminology called branching and merging. So the idea is very simple. Let's take a look at the terminology first. Here you're still using PyCharm to manage your local project and your local repository. So you will manage this default branch called a master. So you can see my remote GitHub that also have one branch is called a master. So basically you can select with that. So say now you and your team member decide that you want to add some new feature, or maybe some people would want to work on bug fix, so you can create a multiple branch for that. To switch back and forth between different branch, you have to do is check out from one branch to the other branch. After you finish all the fixing of the bugs or new features, and you can migrate, merge those branches into one. And if you decide not to, you can basically push this thing into the new features or new bug onto the remote on the GitHub. So let's take a look at our example onto PyCharm. So we can start as a Python example. So you can say that only have one master on one remote a branch, and we are interested in adding a new branch. We're going to call it as a new feature. The reason behind that is we don't want to keep modifying all the stuff in this Python file in different modules. So instead, we want to create an Excel file so we can basically modify or add stuff in Excel file. Then we can export this file as CSV. Then we can load the CSV file into the Python file. So we only have one file we need to modify. So that would be much nicer than modify all this different Python file. So we can do that basically by going to our files, and we can copy the CSV and go to biology folder. We can create a new folder. We're going to call as RES, stands for resource folder. Then we can paste this CSV file into here. So that's going to be refactored. Then we're going to add that into local repo. So you can see the file is showing as green. So that basically showing that it's ready to be committed. So the other thing we are interested in is we're going to add a utility. We can read this CSV file. So we're going to call the UT Python file. So we can also add this file into our local Git repository. Currently it's showing as red. So now we have all the stuff ready. So we should be able to import a Python library called the pandas. We're going to shorthand this as PB. So we can create a function. We're going to call this function load data. So give a file name, and the category basically specify whether it's a bird, a mammal, or flowers. So we can give a data frame variable. So we can use pandas to read the CSV with the file name. So once we have that, we will basically load data from data frame based upon the category. So now we basically can return the data. So now if we want to call this function, we have to write a main function. Basically, it's a name is equal to underscore mean. So we're going to basically have a file name, and that's equal to. So we can say the utility file is in the same directory structure with the RES. So we can directly call RES without getting into any other directory. So we can also add a biology CSV in here. So we can have a data equal to load data. So we have the file name, put it in. So we can put the birds in here so we can print out data. So the next thing you need to do is add a configuration to run this file. So we can go to here, search for Python, then we're going to select this utility file in the biology folder. So we can click on OK. So we can click on run. So that basically will run this Python file. So one thing you can say we don't really like this is that this is a return as a hash table. So we don't like this, so we basically want to have that as a list because we want to have array, so we can put into sort of thing like that. So once I have done the list, so I should be able to run that. So now it's basically that will be it. So we can basically very happy. So we can commit the directory. So convert everything. So we want to add a new feature. So that's the comments we're going to add it. So we commit it with those two files. This is a new feature we would like to have. So now we can go back to the project. You can see all this file changed to black, so that basically saying this is okay. Then we can push this thing onto the remote GitHub. So let's take a look at this. Now we only have one branch, so we can basically push this thing onto remote. So you can say that's basically we'll be able to push everything. So now if you can see that it's saying, oh, new feature is added. So let's take a look at this. So you can basically say now the new feature is added on the remote Git repository. So now you may be interesting to say, wait a minute, let me see whether I can add, say, flowers in there to see whether that would be able to read the information now. So now you will say, actually that gave a NA, and that doesn't look too good. So maybe you want to assign someone to figure out that, then you will just say, I want to create a new branch. So I want to call this one as a bug fix. So you can do that, and you can check out this, and someone else going to work on this by downloading this new branch. So in the bug fix, he's going to figure out how to remove this NAN. So if he knows pandas very well, so it's basically drop NA. So that's basically finished this file. You can see utility is basically changed to light blue. So if you want to run this is basically looks pretty good. And if you go to the other one with the memos, you run it, and it doesn't show NAN. So the bug being fixed. So it's pretty happy. And so you got information in your new feature, then you'll say, okay, someone has fixed the bug. So you want to migrate this bug fix branch into this new feature. So what you could do is you point at a new bug fix, and you want to merge into current because our current is in the new feature. So you basically merge that. So you can also say the message on here is saying merge bug into a new feature. So we can merge this into our new feature. If you want to delete the branch, you can delete, and then you can push this thing again. So we basically have to commit it. The directory, say we modify, we fix the bug, right? So this is a pretty simple and easy to do. So once you're done that, you basically will be able to delete this bug fix. Then we can take a look at the new features. So everything looks good, and can push this one onto remote. So once it's being pushed onto it, so we should be able to see in the new feature branch. And let's take a look at the utility to see where the drop NA is added. As you can see, it's basically added. So this is basically how you can go back and forth between different branch. You can work in parallel for code development. So that was basically it. Hope you